What is up, fam? Agent O here, back with a action figure review. Haven't done one in quite some time because I just hadn't been buying anything that I really felt like I needed to put up a review about until now. Today I have the S.H. Figuarts Naruto Shippuden, the Sage Mode Naruto. This is the Tamashii Web Exclusive version. The difference being that he has the red jacket and summoning scroll like you can see in the box art, and there's some other key differences that I will also get into with this review. I want to really jump into this, so I'm just going to get right in. Let's just get it in right now, man. And here we have Sage Mode Naruto. Just adjust the cam a little bit. And yeah, right off the bat, I do kind of like the simplistic nature of this figure, of the Naruto figure line in general, actually. I like the fact that they actually don't use a lot of paint on these figures. Most of it is sculpted in its base color, and then the paint apps that they do add are just flat, almost a matte finish overall to match the base color of the plastic, so that the plastic is casted in. And you know, I don't have a problem with that, where I would with other figures, I think, that are a bit more, that would require more paint apps. I guess it's because since this comes from an animation and they're trying to emulate that animated cell look with these figures in action figure form, then it doesn't really call for a whole lot of paint apps. I don't know, that's just me. Other people might have a problem with that, and that's fine if that's an issue for you, but I'm okay with it, actually, with this. You know, their paint apps are applied nicely and everything is nice and clean. I really do like the paint apps on the face, and I do want to do a comparison in a little bit later on in the review when I talk about the differences and the similarities between this version of the Sage Mode Naruto and the one that was released earlier, because I do have that figure as well. And yeah, I mean, as far as aesthetics, I think this captures the look and feel of Naruto in all his Sage Mode glory. So yeah, just I want to jump right into the articulation, but before that, I'm going to actually, in order to do the articulation and give you guys a better idea of what this figure can and can't do, because there are some can'ts in there, I'm going to actually switch. I'm going to actually use the switch him out of the jacket and sleeves, and this is one of the differences between this figure and the original Sage Mode Naruto, is that whoops, hold on, he's not wanting to stand for me now, even though he's standing on my desk just off camera. But yeah, these arms don't pop off like these do. Like, they're just on pegs, so I mean, they come off really easy. But yeah, that's just one reason why this differs from the original Sage Mode. And once you get those off, these also, the sleeves also peg in. These are a bit more difficult to get off, but they do come off, and you can switch them out with the other with the other sleeves that he does come with. And I have those off camera. You also have to take out these floating shoulder bits as well. And you have to place these black ones in. And in case you're wondering like which one's right and which one's left, it should be on the inside of the sleeve. I know it is on the red ones. But for display purposes, we'll just pick a side, because these work either way. Oops, but first we do have to get this off. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. And it just pegs in the back like so. And all that comes off. Take the jacket off. And you can kind of see on the inside how this all works on. It's got a butterfly swivel on top of a double ball joint. So you can kind of see how the inner workings, how it works, which is pretty cool. It's not often that I am able to pull apart the figure and see way into the figure and to see how everything comes together on it. Whoops. And so you just kind of slide in these floating shoulder bits like so. And then just peg in the upper arms. Whoop. There we go. Then peg in the right arm. Usually I wouldn't do this on camera, but for the sake of demonstration. And there you go, all done. It's a lot easier when you don't have a camera in front of you to make the changes that you need. But yeah, this is regular Naruto without the jacket and scroll. And as you can see, comparison wise, he looks very similar, if not exactly like the original Sage mode. Same sculpt, same engineering, sans the shoulder, the differences in the shoulder, but yeah, it's literally the same exact sculpt. All the folds, all the shaping is exactly the same. The engineering is pretty much the same. So yeah, even the paint apps are pretty similar. Well, they're similar, but the Sage Mode 2, I guess I should call it, has a bit of, the orange is a bit darker than on Sage Mode 1. It's a bit brighter. Not sure which one I like more. I feel like the black, this is a lot darker, the black on Sage Mode 1, and I don't know, I like both looks, honestly. Like I said, if you didn't have them side by side, I don't even think most people would be able to tell the difference. But looking at them right now on camera and everything, they look, you can tell the difference in coloring that they used. Which kind of sucks if you were an army building these to do, like, you know, to do Kagebushin no Jutsu scenes and stuff like that, like to shoot pictures and whatnot, then you could totally see the difference. But you know, if you're not doing that, which I don't plan on doing, I actually planned on getting rid of this one when this came out, but then I decided to just keep it after all. But yeah, enough of that. I want to get back to the articulation. His head is on a ball joint, and so is the neck, also on a ball joint, so you can look down about that far, and he looks up about that much. The back of his hair gets in the way, so you can't really get that much up motion or direction of him looking up. But you know, everything else does work, does come into play pretty well. The shoulder articulation, since there's no bicep swivel, the swivel is also up in the shoulder bits, and like I showed you earlier, you've got the butterfly joint, so you can pull his arms in pretty far, as you can see. He raises his arm up about that high, and you get a lot of play. There's actually a lot of play. I kind of wish the floating shoulder bits worked a little bit better. I've seen them work better on other Figuart figures that have used that. I don't think they work as well on this when it comes to like hiding the joint, but I guess that's just something you got to deal with. I don't think it's that bad that I just can't, you know, play with this figure at all. But you know, moving on, he does have the double jointed elbows. He has the ball jointed wrists, and he does have the diaphragm joint. But and he does have hip swivel. But as you can see, you can't really rotate him a whole lot. This is where the figure kind of falls or fails when it comes to posability, you know, that S.H. Figuarts is very well known for. Yeah, you just don't get a whole lot of rotation here, and you don't get a whole lot of back and forward rotation as well. He's pretty stiff on the upper torso area, and it was the same thing with the Sage Mode 1 version as well. Since it's the same exact articulation, so that's kind of a hindrance for me, and it really takes away from making a lot of the poses look dynamic with this character. Just because you can't get him to crouch a whole lot, or to, you know, to crunch in or bend back, so his poses aren't as exaggerated. But the leg articulation is actually pretty decent. He can do the splits about that much, but he has those old school hinges in the hips, so you can pull the hips down and you can bend his legs out and he can get a bit more of a split that way. So you do have that. The thigh swivel is on the inside, as you can see, the rotation. And he has I mean, they're pretty much double. They're single jointed knees, but they get the double jointed bend. And so, you know, you get that much of a bend on these knees. And he can toe point that far. He can pull his feet in that far. He has ankle rockage, which it all works pretty nicely. And toe point for those that like it. But I feel like I can't really use the toe point with this figure as effectively as I do with other figures because Naruto's feet are pretty small. So balancing him, which it is possible to do, and you know, with enough, when you finagle it enough, you can do it. But it's a little bit more difficult because his feet aren't as big as other S.H. Figuart figures are to, you know, kind of help with balancing and weight distribution. Also, his little pouch on the back is on a ball joint, so there is some rotation, so that, you know, and it could pop off as well if you wanted it to, but it is there. And I mean, that pretty much does it for the articulation. There's not really much to write home about. It's serviceable. It could be better with a Figuarts. I think it would be really nice if they had made that torso articulation work a lot better. It's just too bad that they weren't able to do that with this figure in particular. But I do want to move on to the accessories, and you've seen some of them so far. You saw the jacket, and you saw the little extra sleeve bits and the scroll. So there's that also. So there's that. I want to get out of the way. He also comes with his Rasengan, and there's a peg hole on the bottom for the hand. He also comes with switchable faces as well, and the faces are pretty nicely detailed. They're exactly the faces that you get with Sage Mode 1 Naruto, except for with Sage Mode 1 Naruto, with this face in particular, he's actually looking in to his right. The eyes are actually looking to the right. So if you have both of these, then you have, and they're interchangeable between the two figures. So if you have both, then you can have poses with him looking to the left or the right, which is kind of a nice little touch. I don't know if that was their intent. He also comes with his shuriken. His shuriken accessories, and he has the various hands to hold all those. He has his ninja pose hands. He has both a right and a left. I just got the left one in hand right now, but it's pretty nicely sculpted, nicely detailed. So you know you can do the ninja poses and the Kagebushin no Jutsu poses. He has the Rasengan holding hand with the peg. Another good, nicely sculpted hand. He also comes with both a left and a right splayed open hand. And I'll have pictures of all that as well. And he comes with his shuriken holding things hands as well. So you know he has those also. And he also comes with his arms folded. He has the arms folded hands, which I can show you, which I'll show you like in some B-roll footage. But yeah, it's like if you have any S.H. Figuart figures that have had arms folding like Piccolo or Vegeta, they pretty much work the same. There's a peg hole and there's a peg. Once you fit the arms into the sockets or into the pegs, then you just put them together and he can have his poses where he's standing there looking all thorough and stern and stoic with his arms folded. So yeah, he comes with those as well. But yeah, overall, this is where like my love-hate relationship with Tamashii Web Exclusives comes in, because I feel like this shouldn't have been a Web Exclusive figure. I think they should have just came out with this figure outright instead of giving us Sage mode with just the faceplates that actually show he's in Sage mode, and not the jacket and the arm switching gimmick that you get with Sage mode 2. That's my biggest gripe with this figure. It just, for the extra added cost that you pay, you shouldn't have to pay that extra cost to get what you should have gotten from the jump. I also forgot to mention, he also comes with the Rasengan, and the stand comes with it, because for some reason there's no peg hole for him to hold this, which I don't understand, which makes no sense. The peg hole is actually here, and it's the same with the Sage Mode 1. He comes with this exact same accessory, so yeah, it's there for your posing purposes. I mean, I do like that there's a hole here for you to pose it, so he doesn't necessarily have to hold it, but it would have been kind of cool for them to put a peg hole so that you could actually have the holding things hand or the Rasengan hand hold the Shuriken Rasengan as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I do like this figure. I do like these Naruto figures. I'm hoping that they keep doing more. I'm really hoping for them to do the Hidden Cloud Ninjas, at least like Killer Bee and the Raikage, hopefully, and Daroi. I would like to see like all three of those figures. But yeah, I mean, as long as they keep doing decent figures, I'll keep getting them, but I wish they would stop with the web exclusive stuff that doesn't really need to be web exclusive. That's my biggest gripe with this figure, and you know, that and the torso articulation. Those are my two biggest gripes with this figure, and barring that, I think they're relatively decent figures. With the amount of accessories you get, I think if they were priced at regular MSRP and not Tamashii Web Exclusive MSRP, these figures would be decent buys. At least this guy is. So if you can still find this guy, get it. If not, if you're a fan of Naruto, if not, I don't know if I could tell you to buy the Sage Mode 2 Naruto. Like I said, I like the figure. I like what it does. I like the fact that they finally stepped up and gave you the figure that we were supposed to get. It just, once again, it just sucks that it's a web exclusive. I wish it wasn't. That's even, to me, that's even worse than the torso articulation. So yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Stay tuned for more stuff, because I do have some other things coming down the pipeline, and I'll catch you guys on the next review. I'm Agent O, and I'm out. Peace.